Millions of tourists visit Rome every year to photograph these ruins. This structure functioned as a specialized political survival machine, engineered to stabilize a failing empire through state-sponsored spectacle. Every arch, corridor, and staircase was specifically designed to regulate human behavior and physically control a massive, dangerous population. The unique layout of the building wasn't an aesthetic choice. It was a response to the political desperation that threatened to tear Rome apart. In the year 69 AD, the Roman Empire was in chaos. Emperor Nero had committed suicide, leaving a massive power vacuum in the capital. Before his death, a great fire had devastated Rome. Instead of rebuilding housing for his people, Nero claimed the burnt land to construct a lavish, private palace called the Golden House, complete with its own artificial lake. The citizens were furious. A brutal civil war erupted, leaving the city in the hands of 1 million starving, volatile, and heavily armed Romans. Whoever managed to seize the throne next had an immediate, existential problem to solve. They had to appease a rebellious mob before that mob destroyed the empire from the inside out. That task fell to Emperor Vespasian. He was a former general who needed to prove that his newly established Flavian dynasty deserved to rule. He drained Nero's hated artificial lake and ordered a colossal public entertainment venue to be built directly on top of it. Returning this stolen land to the public was a calculated political move. However, safely managing 80,000 citizens in one arena forced Roman engineers to invent a new vocabulary of mass transit architecture. The final structure was immense, 189 meters long and nearly 50 meters high, built from heavy travertine limestone, volcanic tuff, and a massive concrete foundation. Packing 80,000 volatile citizens into an enclosed stone arena was incredibly dangerous. A single bottleneck or moment of panic could trigger a deadly riot. Looking at the ground level of the exterior, you can see 80 individual arched openings spanning the perimeter. 76 of these served as simultaneous entry points for the general public. The Romans used a highly efficient numbered gate and ticketing system. These radial pathways, known as vomitoria, funneled crowds from the outer walls straight to their designated sections. This network of corridors and staircases was so perfectly organized that the entire stadium could be completely filled or entirely emptied in just 15 minutes. By ensuring the masses were constantly moving and never densely packed in the hallways, the designers neutralized the physical threat of a mob. Once inside, the building functioned as a giant physical map of Roman inequality. Seating was strictly segregated by class. The emperor and senators sat at the base. Above them sat wealthy knights, and then ordinary plebeians. At the very top, in the highest tier, sat women and the poorest citizens, relegated to the worst views. Every time ordinary citizens attended the games, they were physically forced to look up to their rulers, internalizing their exact place within the empire. To keep the crowd comfortable in the baking Italian heat, sailors operated a massive retractable canvas awning that shielded the entire stadium. Below the arena floor lay the Hypogeum, a complex, invisible labyrinth of stone and brick corridors. This underground staging area was packed with wooden trapdoors, pulleys, and counterweight elevators. They allowed wild beasts and heavily armed gladiators to seamlessly rise out of the ground, seemingly out of nowhere. The violence followed a strict daily schedule. The mornings featured exotic animal hunts, showcasing beasts gathered from the edges of the empire. Midday brought public executions, followed by the main event, afternoon gladiatorial combat. This hidden machinery and choreographed bloodshed projected total dominance. It made the emperor look like a god who commanded nature, life, and death itself. The Flavian architectural PR campaign worked perfectly, securing the new dynasty's grip on the city. When Vespasian's son Titus officially inaugurated the building in 80 AD, he threw a festival of bloodshed that lasted for 100 consecutive days. The empire even minted coins featuring the new arena to broadcast their generosity far and wide. The Romans called this strategy panem et circenses, bread and circuses. As long as the emperor provided free wheat rations and spectacular violent entertainment, the masses willingly surrendered their political autonomy. But as the Roman Empire declined, so did the games. Gladiatorial combats finally ended in the 5th century, and the wild animal hunts stopped in the 6th. Left abandoned and unmaintained for centuries, the massive stone structure endured devastating, violent earthquakes in the years 443, 847, and 1349. Looking closely at the exposed upper exterior walls, you can see how stone robbers stripped away the pristine outer marble and limestone, leaving behind the raw brick and masonry to build other churches and palaces across Rome. Despite losing nearly 2/3 of its original building material over the centuries, the sheer strength of its concrete foundation and arched skeleton kept it standing. The Colosseum remains Rome's greatest wonder, because it serves as a permanent physical monument to the brutal lengths leaders will go to entertain and control their people.